Can just 3 minutes a day really make you feel 30 years younger? If you're watching this, chances are you've had days when your body doesn't quite cooperate the way it once did. Maybe your knees are sore, your balance feels off, and everyday activities like walking upstairs or lifting grocery bags seem heavier than they used to. You're definitely not the only one feeling this way. But imagine this. What if you could feel more like 50 than 80, simply by adding a few tiny habits into your routine? In this video, I'm going to walk you through 5 straightforward but highly effective daily actions that can help restore strength, energy, and confidence in how your body feels. These aren't fads, and they don't require complex routines. Each one takes under 3 minutes, and people just like you have seen real, lasting improvements. Before we get into the details, let's set the right expectation. This isn't about miracles, but if you stay consistent with these 5 habits, you'll likely begin to notice subtle but meaningful changes. Maybe your mornings will start without that familiar stiffness. Maybe you'll be able to walk farther without pausing to catch your breath. Or maybe, most importantly, you'll feel like your body is under your control again, a feeling that so many people quietly miss as they get older. Feeling young isn't about chasing after your youth. It's about keeping your body functional, energized, and capable in the years to come. And the best news? No need for gym memberships, expensive vitamins, or personal trainers. Just 3 minutes, a little dedication, and a willingness to start. So stick around until the end, because each tip builds on the last. And by the time we get to number 5, you might discover that aging doesn't have to mean decline. In fact, you might find yourself feeling better than you have in decades. Let's jump into the first one. Step 1. Activate your joints first thing in the morning. One of the biggest reasons older adults feel stiff when they wake up isn't due to weak muscles. It's because their joints haven't been reactivated. During the night, as your body rests, the fluid that cushions your joints thickens, kind of like cold honey. If you get up and start moving without easing into it, it's no wonder your knees complain or your back protests. The fix? A simple 3-minute morning movement that targets your key joints, especially your hips, knees, ankles, and shoulders. You don't need to roll out a mat or grab equipment. Just sit on the edge of your bed and start by gently circling your ankles 10 times each way, then do the same for your knees. Rotate your torso from side to side, finish with a few shoulder rolls and soft neck turns. What this does is get the synovial fluid moving, the natural lubricant in your joints, helping everything feel smoother and less stiff. It may sound too basic to matter, but this small routine can completely shift how you feel when you start your day. And there's a hidden benefit too. This movement also signals your brain that it's time to switch gears and be alert. For those in their 60s, 70s, or older, that matters more than you might think. Your coordination, mood, and sense of balance are all linked to how your nervous system kicks in after sleep. A few minutes of gentle motion activates not just your body, but your mind. I once met a man named Edward, who was 81. He used to need help just to sit up in bed. But after starting this daily habit, he was not only getting up on his own, he was making breakfast for his wife again. That's what 3 intentional minutes can do. The goal here isn't to stretch like a gymnast, it's to feel grounded, steady, and less prone to slips or falls. Every fall you avoid means more time living on your terms. So if you've been skipping morning movement because it feels like too much work or you think you're past the point of change, think again. Your body isn't fragile because it's been used. It weakens when it's ignored. Just a few minutes of movement is like oiling the gears. It keeps everything working the way it should. Number 2. Deep breathing reset. What many people don't realize is that energy doesn't just come from food or sleep, it comes from oxygen. And how you breathe in those first few minutes after waking up can either recharge your battery or drain it before the day even begins. Shallow breathing, which most of us unconsciously fall into, sends a signal to the body that it's under stress, even when we're not. That's why starting your day with a simple deep breathing exercise can completely shift how you feel. Just 3 minutes of slow, intentional breathing, preferably with your eyes closed, feet flat on the floor, and hands resting on your belly, can lower cortisol, regulate heart rate, and calm the nervous system. It centers you before the chaos of the day begins. I knew a woman named Linda, 77, who used to wake up every morning with her heart racing. Her doctor ran all sorts of tests, but the results came back normal. Turns out it wasn't her heart, it was anxiety. When she began doing this 3-minute breathing reset every morning, she told me her mornings felt entirely different. Instead of feeling like she was chasing the day, she felt like she was leading it. That's a powerful shift. The key here isn't to force anything. Don't try to hold your breath or breathe in a certain pattern like some rigid technique. Just breathe in through your nose slowly and out through your mouth even slower. Let each exhale should be like a gentle release. What this does is activate the parasympathetic nervous system, the part of you that says you're safe, calm, and in control. For older adults, this practice is especially important. As we age, our bodies become more sensitive to stress hormones. A simple phone call, a memory, or even silence can cause a surge of adrenaline. But with a breathing practice, you create space between stimulus and response. You teach your body that it doesn't have to react to everything immediately. That control, that calm, that's where real power lives. So don't dismiss this because it sounds too easy. In fact, sometimes the simplest habits are the ones we overlook. But just because something is simple doesn't mean it's not profound. If you commit to just 3 minutes of deep breathing each morning, I promise you'll notice something. Maybe not on day 1, but by day 5, your mornings might start to feel less like a race and more like a rhythm. And that rhythm, over time, becomes your strength. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 2 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward. Number 3, activating the legs. There's something deeply powerful about starting your day by waking up the part of your body that carries you through life. Too often, we roll out of bed and shuffle straight into the kitchen without giving our legs a second thought. But your legs are like the foundation of a building. If they're weak, tight, or unresponsive, everything else, your posture, your energy, even your mindset, starts to suffer. I've seen it again and again. Issues with balance, fatigue, or poor movement often trace right back to how the legs are treated first thing in the morning. Walter, a 64-year-old man I once spoke with, used to describe his legs as lead weights when he got out of bed. He blamed it on age, old injuries, even bad footwear. But then he started a short, consistent leg routine every morning. Nothing extreme, just some seated marches, gentle toe lifts, and slow calf raises while steadying himself on a chair. A few weeks later, he noticed real changes. His balance was steadier, his steps were lighter, and most importantly, his legs felt alive again. That kind of transformation doesn't come from pills or machines. It comes from discipline. This routine isn't about pushing through pain or breaking a sweat. It's about reconnecting, feeling your feet plant firmly on the floor, engaging your calves with control, letting your thighs switch on and support you. These simple movements send a message from your legs to your brain. I'm here, I'm strong, and I'm ready. That brain-body connection is vital, especially as we get older. The sooner you reestablish it in the day, the better everything functions, from your stride to your stability. Why does this work so effectively? Because movement brings blood flow, and blood flow brings energy. When your leg muscles activate, fresh circulation moves through your lower body, supporting not just strength but also joint mobility, nerve response, and even foot health. For those dealing with swelling, stiffness, or numbness, these early movements can be a game changer. It's a message to your entire system. We're grounded, we're moving, and we're not slowing down. When people ask me, what's the best leg exercise for someone my age? I always say, the one you'll do every day. You don't need fancy shoes, a gym pass, or someone shouting reps at you. You need routine. You need a few intentional minutes that wake up your lower body and remind it that it still has purpose. Because strong legs aren't about looking fit. They're about staying free. Free to walk without help, to carry your own groceries, to rise from a chair without wincing. That's real dignity. That's real independence. So if your legs have been feeling ignored, maybe tomorrow's the time to change that. You don't need the perfect method, just a few quiet minutes of motion. And who knows? You might be surprised by the strength that's been waiting to return. Number 4. Anti-inflammatory breakfast choice. One of the biggest hidden enemies of aging legs is inflammation. It doesn't shout. It doesn't always show up as pain right away, but it works silently, stiffening joints, weakening muscles, and draining energy from your steps. And here's what's surprising. So much of that inflammation starts not in your knees or hips, but right on your plate, especially in the first meal of the day. Breakfast sets your rhythm. If your morning meal includes processed sugars, refined carbs, or inflammatory oils, you're sending a message to your body. Get ready for a sluggish, achy day. But the good news is that switching even one part of your breakfast can have a major impact. That's where anti-inflammatory foods like wild blueberries come in. These little berries might look simple, but they pack a serious punch. They're full of compounds that reduce oxidative stress and soothe inflammation throughout the body, especially in the lower joints. I remember a woman named Elaine. She was 77 and still walked every morning, but she told me her knees would swell up by evening. She thought it was just her age catching up, but when we looked at her meals, I noticed she was starting her day with sweetened yogurt and white toast. She swapped that out for a bowl of oats topped with wild blueberries, a few walnuts, and cinnamon. Within weeks, she said she could walk twice as far without feeling that deep ache in her legs. It wasn't magic. It was science and a shift in how she treated her body. The beautiful thing is this kind of food isn't hard to find. You can buy frozen wild blueberries at most grocery stores. They don't need to be fancy or organic. You just need consistency. When you feed your body what it needs to fight inflammation, it responds with strength. Not just in how you feel, but in how you move, how you stand, and even how quickly you recover after a long day on your feet. And it's not just blueberries. Other powerful options include turmeric, chia seeds, and dark leafy greens, all things you can add to breakfast in under a minute. Some folks make a smoothie, others prefer a warm bowl. The method doesn't matter nearly as much as the habit, because over time, these small morning choices build a foundation for strong, flexible, dependable legs. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 4 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward. Number 5. Omega-3 rich cold water fish. It's amazing how nature gives us exactly what we need, if we know where to look. And when it comes to keeping your legs strong, steady, and full of energy, one of the most powerful solutions comes from the sea. Cold water fish like salmon, sardines, and mackerel aren't just meals. They're a natural source of support for your joints, muscles, and circulation, especially as you age. A major reason many older adults experience heavy, weak legs isn't always a matter of muscle loss. Often, it's poor circulation caused by inflammation in the blood vessels. Since your legs are farthest from your heart, they're the first to feel it when blood flow slows down. That's where omega-3s come in. These healthy fats help reduce inflammation and relax the blood vessels, making it easier for oxygen-rich blood to reach your lower body. I remember speaking with an 82-year-old named Walter. He said climbing stairs felt like dragging sandbags. He wasn't overweight, and his joints were healthy. His doctor simply said his circulation wasn't where it should be. Walter began eating salmon twice a week, grilled simply, served with vegetables. He didn't expect much, but 2 months later, he said something I'll never forget. "My legs don't resist me anymore. They work with me." It wasn't magic. It was the steady stream of omega-3s helping his blood flow, reducing inflammation, and easing muscle fatigue. And if fish isn't part of your diet, you still have options. Algae-based omega-3 supplements can offer similar benefits without seafood. What matters most is consistency and choosing high-quality sources. Even canned sardines, though small and inexpensive, can do wonders when eaten regularly. Just as important is what you remove from your plate. Walter also cut back on processed meats and red meats, foods known to increase inflammation and slow circulation. Sometimes improving your health is just as much about taking out the harmful as it is about adding in the helpful. Let's wrap up with this. What stood out to you the most today? Maybe it was how beets support better blood flow, or how just a spoonful of chia seeds can help with joint health and energy. Perhaps you were surprised by turmeric's ability to calm inflammation from the inside out. Whatever it was, remember this. Real change doesn't require a complete life overhaul. Even in your 70s, 80s, and beyond, small, consistent choices can have a big impact. A few minutes a day with the right foods can bring life back into your legs. This isn't about trying to be young again. It's about respecting your body and giving it the care it needs to keep going strong. Because age alone doesn't determine strength, your habits do. And when you feel steady on your feet, when your legs move without resistance, everything changes. You walk more. You stand taller. You sit and rise without hesitation. That's not just physical freedom, it's emotional peace. So here's your challenge. Pick one food we talked about today and make it part of your day. Even something small. Stick with it and see how your body responds. Don't take my word for it. Experience it for yourself. And when you do, come back and share your story. Thanks so much for spending time with us today. We'd love to hear what you learned. Leave a comment and tell us which tip you're going to try and how you plan to use it. Your feedback means the world to us. It inspires and encourages us to keep making content that serves you. If you found this video helpful, be sure to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who could benefit. Your support helps us continue this journey together. Until next time, take care, stay strong, and we'll see you in the next video.